Okay, admit it, you clicked this video because of that thumbnail. But hey, don't worry about it. This is a safe space and there's no judgment here. You filthy weeb. Have you ever been hanging out with your friends before, and while you guys are just watching some anime compilations on YouTube, you see a screenshot or a clip of an anime, and you say, I wouldn't want to watch this show, there's too much fan service. Then later, when your friends leave, you search up the show and binge it for 5 hours straight? If you have done that or something similar, then you should know that you're definitely not alone, because I know I've totally done this before. I call these types of shows guilty pleasure anime, and while most people dog on fan service, myself included, they can be fun to watch at times. So today let's talk about some of those guilty pleasure animes I would recommend when you're in an especially degenerate mood. But before we jump into these animes, please click that like button and ring the bell to stay informed when I upload next. I remember High School the Dead like it was yesterday. In fact, I'm pretty sure I was looking for something related to it, but I can't quite remember. Why don't we stop the video real quick and take a look at the good old browser history. Fuck. When I first saw High School the Dead, I was in high school myself and it hit every interest of mine at that point. Zombies? Check. Action-packed fight scenes? Check. An ungodly amount of fan service? Double check. High School the Dead particularly leans hard into the fan service, but alongside that, it's also complemented with decently thought out characters and a plot that's fairly compelling and simple to get into. The show revolves around a group of high school students as they try to survive in this new apocalyptic world. Also, it has this famous scene, so there's also that. Sora No Otsohimono, or Heaven's Lost Property, is another anime I watched in high school. And saying that out loud has made me realize why I didn't have many friends in high school. The plot revolves around Tomoki Sakurai, whose life changes when an angel named Icarus falls out of the sky and starts living with him. This is just a general feel-good anime for the most part, and I would definitely give it a watch if you want something really easy to binge. It has a good sense of humor, and it knows not to take itself too seriously. One great running gag is that because the main character is short, the artists draw him as a chibi in most scenes to comedically portray this. In fact, that's probably my most favorite part of the show. Or, you know. Zero no Tsukaima, or The Familiar of Zero, is probably one of the very first anime I've ever seen, and when I went back to grab clips from it for my last video, I kinda realized just how much fanservice there really was. This show is an isekai that follows Hiraga Saito as he is teleported into a new world, when a young witch named Louise summons him on accident as part of a familiar summoning ritual. From there ensues the high fantasy and highly suggestive adventures of the pairing. There are plenty of top tier waifus in this show as well. I mean, we got Shara L. Greenwood, we got Lupus Regina without her hat, we got pink hair Taiga, we even got Sailor Mercury with glasses. It's a solid show that can definitely eat up a lot of time, seeing how it's 49 episodes long, but it's definitely a worthy watch for some late 2000s anime. It's also made by JC Staff, creators of Index, Konosuba, and Toradora. I guess that Taiga comment I made earlier was warranted. Have you ever watched a harem anime where the main character was an absolute beta and you really wish it wasn't? Well, here you go. I give you Trinity Seven on a fucking silver platter. This anime has one of the most fucking Chad protagonists I've seen, and I absolutely love it. The story is about Arata Kasuga, as he unravels the breakdown phenomenon, an event that destroyed his town and took his closest friend and cousin, Hijiri Kasuga. Honestly, again, this show has probably one of my most favorite protagonists in anime, with how confident and cheerful this guy is no matter the situation. Alongside that, the characters are partially based off the 7 Deadly Sins. No, not that shit, the other one, which is always a fun concept to play with. Honestly, if you're going to watch this show, you'll probably come for the redheaded tsundere and stay for the Chad that is Arata. This is at least an 8 out of 10 high school DxDs for me. Finally, we have Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry, or Chivalry of a Failed Knight. This is the newest show on the list, but it still has plenty of that good old-fashioned fan service. The show revolves around Iki Shirogane, the lowest-ranking blazer in Hagen Academy, and the journey he takes on redeeming himself, paired with the help of a princess named Stella Vermilion and several other characters. This is actually one of my all-time favorite animes, and that's because of the romance between Stella and Iki. Yes, there are plenty of those good old-fashioned ecchi scenes, which I hesitate to show on my channel since a lot of them can get pretty graphic and are not really in line with YouTube policy. However, what kept me watching the show wasn't that. It was how they handle the romance between Iki and Stella. Generally, from my experience with romance anime, they tend to be stories of will they won't they, where the story dances around whether or not the characters will actually get together, and where the finale is when the main characters truly solidify their relationship. However, in Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry, the main characters start dating very early on in the show, so instead we get to see the rare path with the romance genre, the part where the characters actually try to make the relationship work. There's plenty of that sort of relationship development in the show, from the ups and downs to exactly getting that feeling of embarrassment or anxiety of trying to advance a relationship to a more physical or mental place. It truly is one of my favorite romances in anime, especially if you take into account their social statuses. Iki was the lowest ranking mage knight at the start of the show, being seen as beneath everyone, while Stella, being a princess and a strong mage knight, was seen in high regard by her peers. So it was really interesting to see how the chemistry between the two characters would evolve with the show, and to me it didn't really disappoint in that regard. So that's why I think Chivalry of a Failed Knight is more than just an anime meant to deliver a dosage of fanservice and ecchi, and is one of my top 5 representations of romance in anime. Wait, what was the point of this video again?